And if you want to answer the question, somebody posted something in the chat. What's that? Is anybody saying something about what he or she understands culture to be?
Yes, sir. I'm available, sir, to speak.
Okay, let's hear you. What do you understand culture to be?
Okay, so what I understand culture to be is like a complex shared system where people's beliefs, their behaviors, their customs, and social norms and achievements are defined by the group where they find themselves.
Okay. Do you have another person that wants to try? Just tell us what you know culture to be. What is culture? What do you understand culture to be? Define culture. Nobody is going to say you are wrong, you are right, you are, let me know the understanding you have even before we start this class. Or are you saying it the first time you are hearing the word culture? You've not heard it before? Is anybody saying that he or she has not heard of the word culture before?
No, sir, we have heard.
So what you understand it to be? Okay, because we don't have luxury of time, let us kick start. From the first page, you will see that culture, the word culture has many different meanings. For some, it refers to an appreciation of good literature. Some people, culture simply means talking about good literature. To some people, it is music. To some people, it's art. To some people, food. For a biologist, it is likely to be a colony of bacteria or other microorganisms growing in a nutrient medium in a laboratory petri dish. However, for anthropologists and other behavioral scientists, culture is the full range of learned human behavior pattern. Take it again. Culture is the full range of human learned. Who is that? Mute your mic. You are not expected to unmute your mic when lecture is going on. So I said, however, for anthropologists and other behavioral scientists, culture is the full range of learned human behavior pattern. What does that mean? It means that whatever you call culture is learned. And there is a process through culture is being learned. And that process is what we call socialization. Socialization is how the culture, the cultural value, and the culture of a particular society or group of people is being transmitted by the older member of that society to the new member of the society. And it is a lifelong process. It is a process. Socialization is a continuous process, meaning that we learn till we die. You keep learning. You keep learning. So culture is the full range of learned human behavior pattern or pattern. The term was first used in this way by a pioneer English anthropologist, the man we call Sir Edward Taylor, in his book, Primitive Culture, published in 1871. The first person that used this word in this way relating to learned behavior is a man called Edward B. Taylor He was an English anthropologist, which he published in his book, Primitive Culture, in 1871. According to him, he said that culture is that complex whole. It's a complex totality, complex whole, totality. It's a complex whole. When you say the whole of them, it's a complex whole, which includes knowledge, belief, heart, law, moral, customs, and any other capabilities, and habit acquired by man as a member of a society. This is telling you that whatever you think you know about your culture, you acquire it. Whatever you think you know, culture of your people, you learn it. Whatever you think you know as a culture, it was transmitted to you by the older member of your culture. And there are some that you are yet to know. There are some that you are yet to know. Now you are a student, by the time you finish your program, you go to service, you learn again. By the time you get married or you get engaged, you begin to learn again. So this is how relationship is. By the time you finally get married, you say, my God, so this man smell like this, this lady smell like this. You continue to learn. You learn how to stay with strangers you have never stayed with before. For ladies, for men, you learn how to, you feel somehow ashamed to undress yourself before a man, but now this is your husband. You continue to learn. So another man will be seeing your nakedness. But you are married. This is another learning call. You are now married. Okay, you are now married. You are now, okay, you have accepted the man. Okay, you alone, you can see it. I can see you. Okay, we can, By the time pregnancy comes, that's another learning curve. You learn. Hey, if I know about not married, so this man, so this is how pregnancy is. You keep learning. So it's a complex whole which include knowledge, belief, heart, law, morals, customs, and any other capabilities and habits acquired by man as a member of his society, according to Sir Edward Taylor. Of course, it is not limited to men. Women possess and create it as well. When we say men or man, it's the generic term. Like when the Bible says man in the Bible, it's talking about generic term. That is talking about human being. But here we say it's not even only men. Women possess and create it as well. Since Taylor's time, the concept of culture has become the central focus of anthropology. It has become a central focus of anthropology. Culture can be defined as the total way of life. That is the shortest definition of culture. Culture can be defined as the total way of life of a people in a particular society. The word particular society is very important. That tells you that culture differs. That tells you that culture is not the same all over the world. That tells you what is accepted in one culture is not accepted in another culture. Mute your mic, please. Who is that person? That tells you that culture is not the same all over the world. Culture is not the same. That's why we say culture is relative. What is accepted in one culture might not be accepted in another culture. What is seen as taboo in one culture might not be seen as the same in another culture. If you delve into culture, you will see, you will hear some things that will, blow your mind. You can imagine you are in Nigeria and the kind of relationship that exists in Nigeria in families is what we call patriarchy. So we operate patriarchal society in Nigeria. What we mean by patriarchy simply means that you trace your lineage through your father. Patrilineal. Patri means man. Lineage, we call it patrilineal. So patrilineal simply means that you trace your lineage through your father. And that is what we do in Nigeria. And that's why you bear the name of your father. Your grandfather. That's why you bear that name. And even if your father decides to change, not to continue with his own father's name, he will still give his own name. So that talks about patrilineal, that is tracing your lineage to your father, Patrick. But I'm telling you, among the Ashanti of Ghana, what they practice is what we call matrilineal. They trace their lineage to their mother. And that is why it is called matrilineal. So if a woman gives birth to a child in that society, that child will bear the name of a maternal grandfather. The child will bear the name of a maternal grandfather. That is a matrilineal society. So there are different societies, and you cannot be judging other people's culture or judging other people based on your own culture. No culture is superior to the other. No culture is superior to another culture. But it's a pity we see ourselves in this part of the world as if our culture is inferior. That's why you see everybody, every girl wants to, not only girl, every one of us, we are not satisfied with our culture. I want to become American even more than the Americans themselves. Want to become British even more than the British themselves. Wear our clothes. Where are those styles our parents, our grandmothers, the hairstyle they were doing in those days? Everything has, become things of the past. And that is what we call being xenocentric. That is, you are being xenocentric. Seeing another people's culture as if it is superior to your own culture. That means you are xenocentric. And you don't judge other people based on your own culture. Seeing your own culture as being superior to their own culture. We call that ethnocentric. Ethnocentrism and xenocentrism. So like I said, our culture can be defined as the total way of life of a people in a particular society. Culture is learned and shared by members of a society. You learn and you share it. That is why the older members of the society transmit, the culture to the younger members. And it is learned. You learn. I can remember the first time I tried to prepare amala. That is yam flour. I know what happened. I'm not going to say yes, so people will not be laughing. So you see, you learn. The food you think you know how to cook now that is of your culture, you learn from either your mother or other member of the society. So that is the part of culture. There are some food, if I mention them now, you say, okay, that is our Igbo's food. If I mention other food, I say that's Yoruba food. Like I just mentioned yam flour, amala now. All of you say, amala newedu, that is Yoruba food. That's what the Igbo people will say. And when I mention abacha now, ofio, you say, that is Igbo food. You get it? And when I mention sinkafa, tuo sinkafa, if I mention nunu now, you say, that is the northern food. That is part of the culture. Your food, your mode of dressing, everything shows where you are from, shows your culture. That is it. So we say there is difference between natural and cultural phenomena. There are difference between natural and cultural phenomena. The things that exist or occur without human intervention are what we call natural. Like rain is a natural occurrence, is a natural phenomenon. It does not belong to any part of the world. That rain is part of their culture in America, or rain is a part of culture in Nigeria. No. things that exist or occur without human intervention are part of the natural world. So when you're talking about natural, it's different from cultural. Cultural behavior or cultural phenomenon are human product. They are what we call social construct. They are social construct. Are you following now? Or is there anyone that is missing anything? Is there anything you don't understand? So I can go back to that before I move to the next paragraph.
Yes, sir. Please, explain the cultural phenomenon again.
Is that what?
Explain the natural phenomenon and the cultural phenomenon.
Natural and cultural phenomenon.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you for that. When I say something is natural, what does that mean? When I say something is natural, what do you understand by that? It is natural.
God given.
No. Let the person who has the question answer, please.
Oh.
It's the one
Okay,
I'm talking to.
Something that occurs naturally, that's something that's not man-made.
Something that is not man-made.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much for that. So I'm saying that there's a difference between cultural phenomenon and natural phenomenon. So that tells you that whatever is natural is not man-made. And whatever is cultural is man-made. It's a social construct. Have I explained that?
Yes, sir.
Have you gotten that?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, fine. Yeah, let's go. So culture is a powerful human tool for survival. Culture is a powerful human tool for survival, but it is a fragile phenomenon. It is constantly changing and easily lost because it exists only in our mind. Your culture exists in your mind. If you leave the shore of Nigeria now and you get to US and after 2-3 years you have not come back to Nigeria, the tendency of you losing so many traits of your culture is very high. The tendency, did I say 3 years? If you are there for 1 year, you will be losing some of your traits in 1 year. If you are there for 2, 3, 4 years, I'm telling you, you will have lost so many traits of your culture. It's so fragile. It only exists in your mind. And the more you are in that culture, the more you keep practicing that culture, you are within the society, the more the culture remains in your mind. But once you change your vicinity and you get to another culture where you don't see that trait or those traits of your culture often, the tendency of you losing them is high. Is it true? Has anybody experienced that? Hello?
Yes, sir. We have experienced something like that.
Okay, that is just that. Okay, that's nice. Our written languages, government buildings, and other man-made things are merely product of culture. They are not culture in themselves. For this reason, archaeologists cannot dig up culture directly in their excavation. Please mute your mic, I beg of you. Mute your mic. The broken pot, another artifact of ancient people that they uncover, are only material remains that reflect cultural pattern. They are things that were made and used through cultural knowledge and skill. Let me tell you here that culture can be broadly divided into two. There are what we call material culture and non-material culture. Or you say tangible culture and intangible culture. When you say material culture, it is the same thing as tangible culture. When you say immaterial culture, it is the same thing as, when you say tangible and non-tangible culture. When you say tangible, you are talking about material. When you say intangible, you are saying non-material culture. What is the difference between the two? Tangible are things you can see, you can touch, you can feel. These are things you can see. So that is one aspect of culture, like spoon, like dress, like hairstyle, these are tangible culture. These are things you can see. When we say intangible culture, there are things that you cannot see or touch or feel, but you know. For example, I don't know how many Igbo people are in this class, and you hear somebody saying, in our culture, in our hadith, it is said, Echidime. That is Igbo. It is their culture. It is intangible culture. Is there any how you can hold that word I said, Echidime? That is, tomorrow is pregnant. Am I correct? Anybody in the class?
Class, yes, sir. You are correct.
That is nobody knows tomorrow.
No, HD made us tomorrow is pregnant.
That is it now, that anything can happen tomorrow. Don't look down on anybody today.
Tomorrow is pregnant.
That is the meaning.
Yes, sir.
When they say tomorrow is pregnant, what they are telling you is that you don't know what can happen tomorrow. It's pregnant. You don't know the kind of child tomorrow is going to bring forth. Is that not the meaning?
Yes, sir.
So
yes, sir.
That is it. So when you hear somebody say cheat, you may say, oh, this man is Igbo man. This they are Igbo adage. And when somebody gives you another one that is from Yoruba aspect, it's okay, this man is Yoruba man. All those adage, they are non-material culture. You can't touch them, you can't see them, you can only hear them. And once it is said, you can't hold it. They are intangible culture, non-material culture. So culture can broadly be divided into two: material culture and non-material culture. Are we together? Are we together? Okay.
Yes, sir. We are together, sir. We are together, sir.
So the next thing we move to the layers of culture. Layers of culture. There are very likely 3 layers of or levels of culture that are part of your learned behavior pattern and perception. Most obviously is the body of cultural tradition that distinguish your specific society. When people speak of Italian, Samoan, or Japanese culture, they are referring to the shared language. They are referring to the shared tradition. They are referring to their shared beliefs that set each of these people apart from others. When they talk about Japanese culture, Yoruba culture, Hausa's culture, Igbo's culture, they are talking about things that distinguish them from other people. They are talking about things that distinguish them from other culture. In most cases, those who share your culture do not do so because they acquire it as they were raised by parents and other family members who have it. So that confirms the word that I said, that culture is transmitted from older generation to the younger generation. If you are to be born out of Nigeria, or if you are to be born in Yoruba land, if you are Igbo, and you grow up among the Yoruba, there is high tendency that you may not be able to speak Igbo language. I have many of them as friends. We started primary school together. We went to secondary school together. We lived together in Lagos. In fact, one of them, when he traveled to the east for the burial of his father, they told him that you are not one of us. He even married a Yoruba woman. So just to worsen the matter, the guy has forgotten him. He knows that he's not an Igbo guy. Was my classmate from primary school. You get it? So, and he has learned and imbibed the Yoruba culture. He has learned and imbibed the Yoruba culture. There's hardly anything you will say in Yoruba language that he will not interpret. There's hardly anything you will say in adage that he will not understand. That is why the cultural pattern, the cultural traits were transmitted to him in length there. They were both learned and what? And taught. They were both learned and taught. And these were made possible by other members of the family or other people around him. The second layer of culture that may be part of your identity is what we call subculture. The first one we have talked about is regarded as the main culture or dominant culture. That is a shared cultural trait or shared cultural trait that is common to a particular set of people in a particular society. That is what we refer to as main culture or what we refer to as dominant culture. But in every main culture or dominant culture, there are what we call subculture. There are what we call subculture. These are something that a few group of people came together and they formed that and they began to, go by it, even within the main culture. For example, one terrible subculture I want to talk about is nudity. Nudity is not part of us in Nigeria. But some people, in fact, they call themselves braless generation and pantless generation. And you see people doing it. That is a subculture, which is, to them, that is their way of life. And it is a subculture within the main culture. That's a subculture. You see some people, they will tell you they are gay. Gay is not the main culture. It's not the dominant culture. It is just a subculture. And people who are there to read, they are adherent to that culture, to that subculture. They know themselves. They have symbols, they have signs to identify themselves. So all these are what we refer to as subculture. They are not the main culture. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Do you get the difference between main culture and subculture?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So it's like the second layer of culture that may be part of your identity is a subculture. In complex, diverse societies in which people have come from many different parts of the world, they often retain much of their original cultural trait. As a result, they are likely to be part of an identifiable subculture in their new society. Now, even looking at that subculture, like I explained to us, showing the negative part of it, talking about the nudity, the gay, the lesbian, the LGBTQ that we talked about. There are some people that are not from the eastern part of Nigeria. Let me put it that way. You have the Yorubas, you have the Hausas, and definitely they have retained some of their cultural trait from where they came from. So, and you can't stop them from still performing those cultural traits that belong to them originally. But whatever they are doing is not the dominant culture wherever they find themselves. For example, you see, I can remember my children came visit and my wife came visit. And when they woke up in the morning, my children woke up in the morning and they saw my neighbor and they prostrated. The lady just jumped back, asked me what happened to them. To her, it was a culture shock. That's what we call culture shock. When you see something you have not seen before, it will give you a shock. And we call it culture shock. So it was a shock. So if my family had remained in where I'm working and they didn't go back to the West, definitely what they'll be practicing will be subculture, because it is a minute or fragment culture compared to the dominant culture. For example, if you go to the north and you are from the eastern part of Nigeria, even if you are 100, does that make your culture in the northern part of Nigeria the dominant culture?
No, sir.
Answer.
No, sir.
So that means in the north, Whatever you are doing in the name of Igbo, in the name of eastern part of Nigeria, it is seen as subculture. Do you understand that now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. That is subculture we're talking about. As a result, they are likely to be part of an identifiable subculture in that new society. Fine. The shared cultural traits of subculture. What do you mean by cultural trait? When you say a culture is made up of traits. Like talking about the mode of dressing is one trait. Have you seen somebody from the north drinking pap before? The first thing you will notice that this is the spoon they are using for pap is not the same thing we are using for pap. They use those short spoon that is deep. What we use for draw soup in the West. That's what they use to drink pap. In fact, some of them that are from the north, they have their own spoon is wooden spoon. Have you seen that before? Has anybody seen that before? People from the north drinking pap. And they drink from the side. They be drinking from the side, not from the front. You get it? So they have their trait. That is just a trait. If you see an Igbo man eating solid, you know this man is an Igbo man. By the time it touches your eba, you say, no, this gari, no, I'm not going to use something like this. Because the solidness of gari from the eastern side, eastern part of Nigeria, cannot be compared to the solidness of gari in the west. Am I correct?
Yes, sir, you're correct.
Correct.
Because if you are eating gari from the eastern part of Nigeria, if that gari is not as strong as Olumoro, it's not gari. By the time you roll it together, you throw it to the wall, it must bounce back to you. That is the kind of gari they eat in the north, in the east. You get it? Another thing that you can use to distinguish the three major tribes in Nigeria, for example, there is no food you will give to an Eastern man, Eastern person. The man will say, ask for Uno. Please hear Uno. They will add salt. Igbo people, they eat salt. And if you want to know a Yoruba person, then they eat pepper. Is it true?
It's true, sir.
Yes, sir.
And if you want to know somebody from the north, now sugar, then go take you. If you drink tea from a Meshai, have you been to a Meshai place to drink tea before?
No.
You don't know what is called Meshai. You know what is called Meshai in the first place?
Yes, sir. We know.
Oh my God. If you drink Meshai tea, the northern part of Nigeria is known for sugar. They consume too much sugar.
A lot. They be known.
So in the east, they own has salt. Please, do you have salt?
Everybody.
And to the Yoruba people is pepper. All those things I've just mentioned, they are just traits of their culture. They are cultural traits. Each aspect of culture of any society is a trait. Do you get that?
Yes, sir.
The mode of dressing is a trait.
Yes, sir.
The kind of food they eat is a trait.
Yes, sir.
So you can lose some trait. You can lose some trait of your culture if you are away from that culture for a long time. There is every tendency that you lose some trait. Even some of you have not left Nigeria, you have not even been to international airport. If I ask the ladies in the class now, how many of you have wrapper? Now lie, now trousers. Now trousers in the wear. So you have, how many do you have?
I have wrapper.
How many do you have?
I have 3.
How many trousers do you have? How many trousers do you have?
More than 10. I
don't have trousers. Do they hear? And if you are looking at those 3 that you claim to you have, when was the last time you saw another one? Maybe they haven't passed to you by your elder sister.
Hey, that is not true.
You can't go to the market and buy material and say they should sew apart for you. I know you. Even if you want to sew gown self now jumper, we'll go reach your time.
Hey.
Yes. That is the kind of situation we have found ourselves. Our cultural traits are going gradually into extinction. Maybe that is why this very course is very needful for us. Talk about culture, the main culture, the subculture. So like I said, as a result, they are likely to be part of an identified subculture. People from another place, they are the minority in that society. Definitely the trait of their culture they came with will be seen under subculture. The shared cultural trait of subculture sets them, the shared cultural trait of subculture sets them apart from the rest. Because there are things they will be doing that other people will not be doing. Set them apart from the rest of their society. Examples of easily identifiable subculture in the United States include ethnic groups such as Vietnamese Americans, African Americans, Mexican Americans. All these are groups of people in America, but does that make them the dominant culture?
No, sir, it doesn't.
So they are what?
Subculture.
Thank you so much.
Culture.
Members of each of these subcultures share a common identity. Food tradition, like somebody, a lady was telling me that if I don't take Gary in 2 days, I will be sick. I just look at her and say, shoot. I mean, if you don't eat Gary ever in 2 days, that she cannot do it. So those are the people we see traveling to America. They say, just help me buy 1 bag of Gary.
What's happening?
Mona still there. I'm go come back. I don't know it so.
It will be network wahala normals.
To be network.
Man, come back.
Wait, I don't want to.
Lucky downtown host.
You guys should please mute your mic when the lecture is going on. You guys are busy talking behind.
I was talking about a man called Brachimeze. Have you heard of that name before?
No,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Who said no there?
Question is there.
No, sir.
No, sir.
I've
I've not heard
okay,
of
you've
it.
heard of the man, Brachimeze.
I've heard about him. I don't even know who the guy is.
Brachimeze,
He sings.
Brachimeze was a popular senior high life singer among the Igbo.
Okay, we know.
But I think he even senior the man you call Oliver the Cook when you look at their levels. He sang a song. He said in 1974, I traveled to Igbo man country. Alabeke, you know that song, Abby?
Yes, sir, we know it.
But that song, he said, he traveled to Igbo man's country and he went with Gary. He said when he started eating Eba, and the white man that saw him, please mute your mics, please. So this man said, when the white man saw him eating Gary, the man picked his phone and called police. He said, police, yeah, police. The black man right there is committing suicide. The white man thought that eating Eba is suicide because it's so hard. So he went with his cultural trait. That is a trait of his culture. And he went with it. Although the other man took him for something that was committing suicide. So there are some things you will do Other people will see that it will be a shock to them, cultural shock or culture shock. So that's what we said. Part of it is food tradition, dialect or language, and other cultural traits that come from their common ancestral background and experience. As the cultural differences between members of the subculture and the dominant national culture blur and eventually disappear, the subculture ceases to exist, except as a group of people who claim a common ancestry. Do you understand that statement?
No,
that
sir.
statement? Okay.
No, sir.
If you go to a particular place with your subcultural trait, there is coming a time that as long as you stay in that place, those your cultural traits will begin to diminish gradually. You begin to talk, behave, dress, liking food of that place. And that's what you said here, as the cultural differences between members of subculture and the dominant national culture. Which one? What do you mean by? I said, Joy Osioma, I will remove you from this class. If you stay in a particular society for a very long time, those your cultural traits that were seen as subculture will eventually vanish. Because you begin to dress, you begin to talk, you begin to live. In fact, you will have imbibed completely the national culture, which is the dominant national culture of where you found yourself. And eventually, your own subculture will disappear. In fact, maybe you got there as single, you got married there, you started having children there. It is sure that your children will not go well with your own subcultural food. And as time goes on, they grow up to become the people over there. Except few that their parents still maintain their local dishes or cuisines. Like I saw, who was that? These are among the Nigerian food super falcons. When they asked, these are, what's her name now? Alozie, what was her first name now? Is it? I've forgotten her first name. Something Alozie. When they asked her what food do you eat from Nigeria, they say, fufu. That means the parents are still preparing fufu and ogbono for her in America. She was born and brought up in US. But majority of the cultural trade they went with must have disappeared, must have become blurry. Not clear again, no more there. So that is like what Thelma Presley. What's this person? I hope you are not there. This Thelma. I thought you should mute your mic. Who is this Thelma? So like I was saying, as the natural differences between the members of subculture and the dominant national culture blur and eventually disappear, the subculture ceases to exist, except as a group of people who claim a common ancestry. That is generally the case with German American and the Irish American in the United States today. Most of them identify themselves as Americans first. They also see themselves as being part of the cultural mainstream of the nation. The third layer of culture is what we call cultural universal. We talk about dominant culture, something that is particular to a particular society. We talk about let's say the Igbo culture, We say that is the dominant culture. Then within that dominant culture, we have what we call subculture. Now, the third one we want to look at is what we call the cultural universal. These are learned behavioral patterns that are shared by all humanity collectively. Cultural universal, marriage. Is it known for a particular culture? Marriage. Marriage is a universal cultural trait. Did you hear that?
Yes,
It
sir.
is a universal cultural trait. It is not restricted to a particular culture. These are learned behaviors patterns that are shared by all of humanity collectively. So it is what we call universal culture. Can you tell me what universal culture again? Universal culture.
Marriage, sir.
I just mentioned marriage, Joga. Why are you copying me?
Naming ceremony.
Birthday celebrations
It
too.
is not in all culture. It's not in all culture they celebrate birthday.
Education.
You said what?
Education.
Did you say education?
Yes, sir.
Education is not the same everywhere. That's why we have formal and informal education. There are some people till tomorrow what they have is informal education. And that is why the people from the north, they say Boko Haram, telling you that formal education is forbidden. That's the meaning of Boko Haram. Boko means book. Haram is forbidden. So they are telling you that book is forbidden. So what they agree, what they are living for is Quranic education. But whichever form, it is a way of learning. Okay, when you say education, fine, let me take that partially. We talk about marriage, we talk about education, we talk about music. Is it restricted to a particular culture? Music.
No, sir.
So those are examples of universal culture. Now, do you understand the 3 layers of culture? Do you now understand the 3 layers of culture? I'm asking.
Yes, sir.
The first one is?
Main culture or dominant culture.
The second one is?
Subculture.
And the last one is?
Cultural universal.
Okay, I think we have done something today. No matter where people live in the world, they share this universal trait. Examples of such human cultural traits include communicating with a verbal language consisting of a limited set of sound and grammatical rules for constructing sentences. Is it universal? Is it universal?
So I didn't
Come
get
again.
this.
I didn't get
Are you
it.
not? Am I not sharing my slide with you?
You are, but didn't really get the question.
Now, I said no matter where people live in the world, they share this universal trait. Example of such human cultural traits include 1, communicating with a verbal language. Is it universal?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Every people of the
Yes,
world
sir.
communicate with the language.
With language, yes.
They communicate with verbal language,
Yeah.
consisting of a limited set of sounds and grammatical rules for constructing sentences. Number 2, using age and gender to classify people. Is it universal?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So we can talk about children, you can talk about teenagers, you can talk about adults, you can talk about senior citizens, you can talk about men, you can talk about women, you can talk about boys, you can talk about girls, and it is all over the world. So is that a universal, cultural universal?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I see.
You said what? Pauline, I thought you were saying something. The third one is classifying people based on marriage and decent relationship and having kinship ties to refer to them. Do we have wives all over the world? Is it
Yes.
universal trait? Do we
Yes,
have
sir.
Yes,
husband?
sir.
Do you have
Yes,
husband?
Yes,
Do you
sir.
have mother?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Do you have uncle?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Do you have cousins?
Yes, sir.
So that is that. Then raising children in some sort of family setting. Is it a universal thing?
Yes,
Raising
sir.
children. So it's a
Yes, sir.
cultural universal. Having
Yes,
a
sir.
sexual division of labor. Is it a universal thing?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes,
There
sir. Yes,
are
sir.
work for men, there are work for women.
Work for women.
Men work versus women's work. Is it a universal thing?
Yes,
See,
yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Then having a concept of privacy. Is it a universal thing?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So all these falls under cultural what? Universal. Then the concept, then having rules to regulate sexual behavior. Is it a universal thing?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
In Nigeria, is it?
Yes, sir.
When you
Please.
see father and mother sleeping together, I mean father and daughter sleeping together. May God have mercy on us. When you see brother and sister
Amen.
sleeping together,
No, sir.
if our mommy even tell them, are you owning? Just make sure you go up, make sure you protect yourself. A mother will tell a son and a daughter, go and enjoy yourself, but make sure you protect yourself.
God forbid.
No, it's not in Nigeria, sir.
Who you said what?
It's not in
You said
Nigeria.
what? I'm telling you,
Not
it's
in
happening in
Nigeria,
Nigeria.
sir.
It's happening in Nigeria.
It's happening, bro. It's happening.
What are you telling me?
No.
What are you saying? It's not happening in Nigeria, okay?
Sir, this is the first time I'm hearing
It's
this.
happening.
That is it. That is the limit of your exposition. I've seen a man who impregnated his own daughter and the daughter gave birth.
Yes, I've seen that one.
I saw the man in the prison when I went for prison ministration. I've also heard of a man, after he lost his wife, he was one that deflowered his two daughters, age 13, 15. He deflowered both of them, and he continued sleeping with them, using the Bible to convince them that it happened to a man called Lot in the Bible, that his two daughters gave back, have children for him. In this Nigeria.
That man is able to be young.
We say what?
That man is able to be young.
Suppose not come too by.
Need to stone up today.
I'm just telling you things that are happening. You say it can't happen in Nigeria. So having rules to regulate sexual behavior is a cultural universal. Distinguishing between good and bad is also what? A cultural universal. Having some sort of body ornamentation. Yes, it is also universal. You see ladies with earring, only that
Yes.
now we don't know the difference between men and female again. Men, they use earring on the two ears. Men go place hair. You know, now God will save us.
Exactly.
You get it? So, but
Yes, sir.
ideally,
Yes.
having some sort of body ornamentation is also cultural universal. Then making jokes and playing games. Is it cultural universal too?
Yes,
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 sir.
sir.
Are you saying we have jokes in Igbo land too, and we have jokes in Hausa land too? There are
Yes,
jokes.
sir.
Okay,
Yes.
fine. Then art. Is it a cultural universal too? Different art, carve, different design, art. Is it a cultural universal?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay.
Yes,
Having some sort of leadership role for the implementation of community decision, is it a cultural universal?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, I think we have done something today. Okay. While all cultures have this and possibly many other universal traits. Different cultures have developed their own specific way of carrying out or expressing them. We talk about the issue of marriage. The issue of marriage is cultural universal, but the way it is being done differs all over the world. Because before now, what we know is a man marrying a woman. But I'm sorry, man, they marry man.
Yes,
In
sir.
another culture, and it is called marriage. Woman is marrying woman, and it is called marriage. They will go to church, and a pastor, a gay pastor, will wed them. A lesbian pastor will wed them to join them together. So, although these cultural traits exist everywhere in the world, but the way they are being done nowadays differs. In those days, it is believed that it's a man that will come and tell a woman, I love you, I want to marry you. But now, many ladies that then they first go meet men. Ladies are asking men out nowadays. You know that?
Sure.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes.
Happening, sir.
Yes. Because the ladies will tell you, we have outnumbered men in the world. Women have outnumbered men. Hope you know that.
Yes, sir.
And those ladies, they don't want to lay low. They don't want to be the last person standing. They will just shoot their shots like that. Pwam, you look nice. They are telling man, say you look nice. You don't know. See, then they find something. I love your shirt. You know, see, then they start. Yes. I hope I'm not speaking the mind of somebody in the class already.
Actually.
For instance, culture that is deaf, subculture, it's a subculture. It is not the dominant culture. The people, the deaf, the blind, they are not the main culture in any culture. They are under subculture. And they have a way of communicating with themselves. So, for instance, people in deaf subcultures frequently use their hands instead of verbal language. However, sign languages have grammatical rules, just as verbal ones do. So we want to look at culture and society. Culture and society. Those are complex. Are complexes of learned behavioral patterns and perceptions. Societies are a group of interaction organisms. While cultures are complexes of learned behavioral patterns. The perceptions. Societies are a group of interacting organisms. When I talk about society, for you to say something is a society, there are people, there are organisms that are interacting. What keeps a society, what makes a society is because there are people interacting in it. There are organisms, because it is not only human society that is considered as a society. You have society of animals. So what makes a society is what? The interacting organism. And if you look at it, the people in that, or the organism in that society, or group of interacting organism in that society, is because they have a means, something that has kept them together. So now for you to say you have a society, what is that thing that must keep them together for them to understand themselves? Who can just tell me? What is that thing? What is that thing? In one word.
Interaction.
Interaction. Inclusion.
Interaction.
What type of interaction?
Cultural interaction.
What has kept them together to remain together in a place is culture. Shared everything, shared language, shared uniform, shared clothes, shared food. They have shared language, something that is unique to all of them.
Okay.
Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, why cultures are complexes of learned behavioral pattern and perception? Society are a group of interacting organisms. People are not the only animals that have society. I think I've mentioned that. It's not only human society we have. We have animal society too. People are not the only animal. I hope you know you are an animal.
Yes. Second
animals.
We can only call it higher animal.
Higher I
So we said people are not the only animals that have society. We have schools of fish, flock of birds, and hives of bees, and societies. All these are societies. They are societies. In the case of humans, however, societies are a group of people who directly or indirectly interact with each other. So what enables their interaction is culture, shared culture. What enables the interaction is what? Shared culture. People in human societies also generally perceive that their society is distinct from other societies in terms of shared traditions and expectations. True or false?
True.
Yeah. Despite the fact that we have so many human societies, we still see ourselves as different. We see ourselves as different. By the time you are all together, the moment you hear somebody that say Kedu, you quickly move to that side if you are Igbo. These are my brothers. This one are my brother. Despite the fact that, so that is telling you different societies distinguished by their cultural trait. People in human societies also generally perceive that their society is distinct from other societies in terms of shared traditions and expectations. While human societies and cultures are not the same thing, they are inextricably connected because culture is created and transmitted to others in a society. That's not the fact that we are not the same. We are not from the same place. We have different culture. We have different beliefs. Our being together in the same place, there is every tendency that the dominant culture will be transmitted to the subculture. Remember we said the other time that such culture will later disappear, meaning that the dominant culture will still prevail over those subcultures. Are you getting my point? Cultures are not the product of lone individual. Culture is not the product of one person. You can't say that is my culture. An individual cannot say that. Culture is shared. So once that thing is not shared, once that thing is not, accepted by more than yourself, it cannot be seen as a culture. Even if you are trying to come up with something that is different, and you have some people who are dead to that, it will be seen as a subculture. You get it? So culture is not something that is owned by an individual, by one person. Cultures are not the product of lone individual. They are the continuous evolving product of people interacting with each other. Cultural patterns such as language and politics make no sense except in terms of the interaction with people. If you are speaking a language that you are the only one that understands it, you are just on your own. You're straight. You are just on your own. So cultural patterns such as language and politics make no sense except in terms of the interaction with people, the interaction of people. If you were the only human on earth, where will you need, if you are the only human being on earth, there will be no need for language or government. True or false?
Yes, sir.
That's
True,
just
sir.
it. That's just it. Now we are now asking, is culture limited to human? Can somebody
No,
answer
sir.
that?
No.
Why did you say no? Please, I'm coming. Give me 2 minutes, I'll be back. Sorry for that. I needed to attend to something. So we said we are looking at the next subtopic. Is culture limited to human? You said no. There is difference between, no, there is a difference of opinion in the behavioral sciences about whether or not we are the only animal that creates and uses culture. The answer to this question depends on how narrow culture is defined. If it is used broadly to refer to a complex of learned behavioral pattern from the definition we gave above, then it is clear that we are not alone in the creating and using of culture. Like we said the other time, if culture is limited to music, if culture is limited to literature, then we can say, okay, we are the only one, human is the only one that uses culture. But when we say it is a cultural trait, it's a complex whole that has to do with learning, then culture is not limited to human beings. So it all depends on the definition you have of culture. If you look at the narrow definition of culture, limiting it to just music, limiting it to just literatures, then you might be saying, okay, it's only human that engage in culture. But if you look at it and define it as that complex whole, if you define it as a complex of learning behavioral pattern, then it is clear that we are not alone in creating and using culture. Do we understand that now? So if you say, is culture limited to human? It all depends on the angle you are looking at it from. If you are looking at it from the narrow definition of just music, learning, music, literature, reading, then you might be saying it's only human beings that are in that business of culture. But when you bring it to the aspect of complex learned behavior, complex of learned behavior pattern, because you know other animals teach their young ones too. For example, ape. Do you know other animals, other primates teach their younger ones too? So that tells you that we are not the only one in the business. Are we together?
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Sir,
So if the question is asked again, is culture limited to humans? What would be your answer?
No.
sir, it depends on the area whereby the area of the definition, like where we are defining culture, the aspect of
It depends on how narrow or how broad the definition of culture you are using is. How
Yes, that's
narrow or
what.
how broad the definition is. You get it? So it all
Yes, sir.
depends. You can't just jump at it. You get it?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Many other animal species teach their young what they themselves learn in order to survive. This is especially true of the chimpanzee and other relatively intelligent ape and monkeys. So you can see they teach too. They learn too. Why chimpanzee mothers typically teach their children about survival, about several hundred food and medicinal plants. Can you imagine? Food and medicinal plants. So that tells you we are not the only one in culture. Their children also have to learn about the dominance hierarchy. You can see hierarchy among chimpanzees. And the social rules within their communities. As males become teenagers, they acquire hunting skills from adults. Females have to learn how to nurse and care for their babies. Chimpanzees even have to learn such basic skills as how to perform sexual intercourse. This knowledge is not hardwired into their brain at birth, meaning that they were not born with it, they were not innate. They are all learned pattern of behavior, just as they have for humans. So when you are talking about is culture limited to human, you must know what they are talking about. If you are looking at it from the narrow perspective, narrow definition perspective, you can say, okay, fine. Because chimpanzee doesn't read. So if you are looking at it from the earlier definition we talked about, we can say, okay, it is limited to man, to human. But when you look at it from the broader perspective, talking about learned behavioral pattern, complex of learned behavioral pattern, then culture is not limited to human. Are we together?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Do we understand everything?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Grace Taiwo, are you in this class?
Yes, sir.
Grace Taiwo. Grace Taiwo, are you in the class? Does that mean she's not in the class? Okay, fine. Then we want to look at characteristics of culture. Characteristics of culture. Number one is culture is an adaptive mechanism. Culture is an adaptive mechanism. The first humans evolved in tropical and subtropical regions of Africa. About 2.5 million years ago, the first human, and yet they are telling us that we are not developed. When the first human that was seen in Africa, and we are the one copying them. We copy our children instead of them to copy us. The first humans evolved in tropical and subtropical regions of Africa about 2.5 million years ago. Since then, we have successfully occupied all of the major geographic regions of the world, but our bodies have remained essentially those of warm climate animals. We cannot survive outside of the warmer region of our planet without our cultural knowledge and technology. What made it possible for our ancestors to begin living in temperate and ultimate subarctic regions of the northern hemisphere after 500,000 years ago was the invention of efficient hunting skills. Why? They found themselves, and for survival, they need to look for a way to survive, and that is what we call adaptive mechanisms. For the people in the riverine area of Nigeria, they develop adaptive mechanism. Who can tell me the adaptive mechanism there in the riverine area of Nigeria? What is the adaptive mechanism there? Thank you, my dear.
Fishing.
If they say they want to plant yam and cocoa, they will die of hunger. You get it? And
Yes, sir.
the people from the north, they know how their soil are. They know they can't get fish like the people in the riverine area. What I'm just trying to say is that culture helps you to adapt to wherever you find yourself. I'm not talking about this generation. What we are living with now, or what we have accepted as our cultural or survival culture, were those things that the earlier settlers saw as their way of survival. And that's what we are. That's what they passed to us. The people who find themselves, they must look for a way to survive. And that's why we said culture is an adaptive mechanism. They develop hunting skills. They discover how to use fire. Who is this person now? Enyinaya, I will remove you from this class. Caroline.
Yes, I'm in, sir.
Once I remove you, you will not be in this class again. Mute that mic for the last time. Mute your mic. Who is this person? Who is this person? Caroline.
Yes, sir.
I said you should mute your mic. You don't know how to do it? Oh my God, who is this? Who are these people? Who are these people? I will make sure you are removed from this class. That Caroline, I make sure you are removed from this class. So we are looking at characteristics of culture. This Caroline is dead. Honestly. Oh my God. Hey, Naya.
Yes,
Hey,
sir,
Naya
I'm in.
Caroline. Are you
Yes,
deaf?
I'm in, sir.
Are
Yes,
you
I'm in,
deaf?
sir.
But
Yes,
you are
yes,
deaf.
I'm in.
But you are
Yes,
deaf.
sir.
You are
Yes,
deaf.
sir.
Okay, I've understood. You are deaf.
Thank you, sir.
You are deaf. It is true you are deaf. I said you should mute your mic. Okay. We said characteristics of culture is an adaptive mechanism. And like we said, where the early settlers found themselves, they devised surviving mechanism. Like those who found themselves in the riverine area, they defined means of surviving. They went into fishing. They devised the means of using boats for their transportation. They just make sure that they can survive. Oh my God.
No, she's very different from all of us.
I'm sorry for that. Now I make sure that this girl is removed from this class. Let's continue. Hello. Let's go.
Hi.
Culture has been saying, when I asked her if she's deaf, she said yes, she's deaf. I think that's the problem.
Sir, hello, sir.
We cannot please, madam, keep quiet and mute your mic. We cannot survive outside of the warmer. Okay, we've gone beyond that. Culture has been a highly successful adaptive mechanism for our species. It has given us a major selective advantage in the competition for survival with other life forms. Culture has allowed the global human population to grow from less than 10 million people shortly after the end of the last ice age to more than 6.5 billion. The world population is going to 8.5 billion now. A more than 10,000 years later. Gosh. Culture has made us the most dangerous and the most destructive large animal on our planet. It is ironic that despite the power that culture has given us, we are totally dependent on it for survival. Can you get that? Culture has so much given us power, yet we still depend on culture for survival. We need our cultural skills to stay alive. We need our cultural skills to stay alive. That is about the first. Over the last several 100,000 years, we have developed new survival-related cultural skills and technologies at a faster rate than natural selection could alter our bodies to adapt to the environmental challenges that confronted us. Despite the fact that culture has helped us to adapt to wherever we found ourselves, technology has done more. Who is this person? Who knows this girl? Who knows this girl? Despite the fact that we try to develop survival skills culturally, technology has also helped us, has taken over. You can see in those days, the kind of canoe that were being made. People will have to paddle their canoe if they are going to any length, any distance. You have to paddle their canoe. But nowadays, technology has changed that. You have engine that you can attach to your canoe. The journey that will have taken you months can take you hours. You are there. So over the last several 100,000 years, we have developed new survival-related cultural skills and technologies at a faster rate than natural selection could alter our bodies to adapt to the environmental challenges that confronted us. The fact that cultural evolution can occur faster than biological evolution has significantly modified the effect of cultural selection on humans. One consequence of this has been that we have not developed thick fat layers and dense fur coat like polar bears. You know, polar bears, the bears, those big animals with furs on their body in the cold region, because our culture provided the necessity warmth during winter times. Then another characteristic of culture here is that culture is learned. Culture is what? It's learned. There's nothing you want to tell me that you know today that you did not learn. As per cultural traits, you learned them. Human infants come into the world with basic drives such as hunger and thirst, but they do not possess instinctive pattern of behavior to satisfy them. Yes, they came with what? Hunger, basic drive of hunger and thirst, but they don't know how to meet those needs. They don't know it. Although there's what we call nature and nurture. We talk about intelligence. Okay, let me just put it to us in the class. Intelligence, nature, or nurture? Anybody in the class? Intelligence, nature, or nurture? If you want to answer, just raise up your hand, then you will be allowed to talk. Intelligence, is it nature or nurture? Anybody in the class?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Pauline, intelligence, is it nature or nurture?
It's not sure, sir.
Nurtured, sir.
It is nurtured.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Who taught a newborn baby how to suck?
Nurture.
I'm only asking. You said it is nurtured now. That means it was learned.
Yes,
Who
sir.
taught a newborn baby how to
The
suck?
mother.
Where?
The
When
mother.
did he teach him or her?
Not attention.
Zero. Age.
When was that taught?
Infant.
No, that one
0.
Where?
that one is
On bed.
You said what?
It's natural.
It's natural. It's natural, sir.
So you can see it is not 100% nurtured.
Yes, yes, sir.
There are 3 different schools of thought on that issue. There is a school that says that intelligence is nurtured. There's another school that says intelligence is nature. And there is a third school that says that intelligence is both. And the school with the largest number of adherents is the third school. That some are being learned, some are by instinct. They are inborn. For example, the one I just gave you, nobody thought a newborn baby, as you brought that baby from the womb, if you put that baby to breast, that baby will begin to suck.
Yes.
So it is both nurtured and nature. So that is just that. But we are saying here that culture is learned. In fact, psychology said that human beings were born tabula rasa. Who are these people? Who are these people? Who is this council? Where are you from? This council Henry. Who are you from? Where are you from? That you are so deaf you cannot adhere to simple instruction. Are you sick? Human infants come into the world with basic drives such as hunger and thirst, but they do not possess instinctive patterns of behavior to satisfy them. Likewise, they are without any cultural knowledge. However, they are genetically predisposed to rapidly learn language and other cultural traits. Newborn humans are amazing learning machines. Any normal human can be placed into any family on earth and grow up to learn their culture and accept it as his own or our own. There was one, is it video? I've forgotten now, a child that was born and it was dropped among the animals. This child could not speak. This child did not understand language. But he was able to understand the movement of animals because that was where he was socialized. So any child can be dropped in any family. That child will learn the cultural traits of that family and of that society successfully. So any normal baby can be placed into any family on earth and grow up to learn their culture and adapt and accept it as his own or her own. Since culture is not instinctive, meaning that culture is not by instinct, it's not by nature. We are not genetically programmed. We are not genetically programmed to learn a particular one. Are you getting my point? We are not genetically programmed to say, okay, it is only one culture we can learn. If you give out to a child in Nigeria and take that child to UK, the next day that child is born. It is not compulsory that because that child was born in Nigeria, it is only Nigerian culture. He has been wired or she has been wired to learn. It means that anywhere that child finds himself or herself, he is ready to learn the culture. So that's why I say culture is what is learned. Do we understand that before I proceed? Do you understand that?
No, sir. Yes,
No,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir. Come again.
Okay, let me take it again. Human infant, we are talking about culture is learned. I said psychology said that human beings were born tabula rasa. What do you mean of tabula rasa? Empty slate. You were born without anything. You were born without knowledge of anything. That means you were born tabula rasa. Whatever you think you are is a function of what was written on that tablet. Tabula, that is table on a tablet. It is a function of what has been written on it by your parents, by your peers, by your family. That is what you have become. So human infants come into the world with basic drives such as hunger and thirst, but they do not possess instinctive pattern. There is no natural pattern. They were not born with ways of meeting those needs of hunger and thirst. Likewise, they are without any cultural knowledge. That means they were born without any knowledge of any culture. It then means that whatever culture they are exposed to, that is the culture they will learn. They are without any cultural knowledge. However, they are genetically predisposed to learn language and other traits. You learn Igbo language because that is where you were born. I have a student in my class. She was born in Edo. She grew up in Edo. Her parents are still in Edo. This girl is from, the parents are from Enugu State, but she cannot speak Igbo. She's just learning Igbo now. Why is it that because she was born by Igbo parents, she was meant to understand Igbo language straight because she was Igbo? No. It was based on where she grew up. It was based on the culture where she grew up. She could speak Edo language because that was where she was born. So we are saying likewise, they are without any cultural knowledge. They don't have any knowledge at birth. So it is whatever that is exposed to them that they will pick. However, they are genetically predisposed to rapidly learn language and other cultural traits. Did you understand up to that level?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Newborn babies are amazing learning machine. They learn very fast. They are amazing what? Learning machine. Any normal baby can be placed into any family. If that child is normal, everything about child is normal, that child can be placed in any family on earth and grow up to learn their culture and accept it as his own or our own. Since culture is non-instinctive, meaning that culture is not something that is inborn. It's not something that you were born with. We are not genetically programmed to learn a particular one. It is not that, like I told you about that girl that was born in Edo, and both parents are Igbo from Enugu. She was not genetically programmed to learn a particular culture. If she were to be born in Lagos, it is wherever she found herself that she will learn. It is the culture that she will learn and she will imbibe. She was not genetically programmed to learn a particular one. It is anyone that is exposed to her that she will learn. And luckily for her, the one that was exposed to her is the one of Edo. In fact, the parents sent her to Igbo land so that luckily for one Igbo man, we see her. Maybe by the time she's graduating, she will marry Igbo. That's what the father wants. That Edo man will not marry her daughter. But that is just it. She has learned the culture, the greetings, the behavior, in fact, she told me that she doesn't like Igbo guys. She doesn't like them. She likes the Edo people. Because that's where she grew up. She has spent all her life among them from cradle till when she gets to the age of gaining admission to the university. Do we understand that paragraph? Now, can I proceed? Though time is against us. But it's important that we understand. Do you understand that now? Can we proceed?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Let's take the second paragraph, then we stop there. Every human generation potentially can discover new things and invent better technologies. The new cultural skills and knowledge are added onto what was learned in previous generation. Not that marriage has disappeared. Marriage is still in existence, but modernization has stylishly changed marriage. In those days, it is a pride of a man to have 2, 3, 4, 5 wives. Is it true? Is it true?
Yes, sir,
Yes,
it's
it
true.
is.
But now modernization and technology has changed that to what we call nuclear family, to what we call monogamy, not polygamy. Is that true? Is that?
Yes, sir.
But that
Sir.
doesn't mean that marriage is out of our cultural trait. That doesn't mean that marriage is no more part of our cultural trait. So every human generation potentially can discover new things and invent better technologies. The new cultural skills and knowledge are added onto what was learned in previous generation. As a result, culture is what? Cumulative. Culture is what?
Cumulative.
What is the meaning of cumulative?
That's
Together,
general.
yeah, over time, something acquired over time.
It means that culture is adding, is cumulating, adding. What you know, another one is adding to it. Culture is cumulative. Like I said, that what used to be, I said the new cultural skills and technology and knowledge rather are added to what was learned in previous generation. So that means it is cumulative. Maybe another one will happen tomorrow, another cultural trait will come tomorrow. You add it to the one you know. It's cumulative. Do you get it? Do you understand what is meant by culture is cumulative now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Due to this cumulative effect, most high school students today are now familiar with mathematics, mathematical insight and solution that ancient Greek, such as Archimedes and Pythagoras, struggled their life to discover. Those people spend all their years to discover what we call Pythagoras. But even primary school today, they will tell you what is Pythagoras theorem. It's cumulative. The other people also study, use their life. They are just accumulating it together. That is cumulative. Culture is cumulative. You continue to add. What you knew when you were born, go to school. You added to it when you enter secondary school. You have added to it when you are now in the university. You will still add to it when you get to service here. You will continue to add to it when you get married. When that boy is telling you, I love you, you will think, does he love me true? From what mommy told me, don't trust any man. No. Men get sugar-coated tongues. And mommy also told you, be careful of those Jezebel girls. Oh. You are adding, you are accumulating. Are we together?
Sir, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So that is just that. By the special grace of God, I think we are going to meet again next week, Friday, because another class is starting immediately by 4 to 6. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day. All right. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Yeah.
sir.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
For sure, sir. Iwasu.
Leo, guy.
This class then now to the next class. So,
You don't try now.
Leo, now you're supposed to be our course rep.
Omo.
I beg you more rest. I dey come out like this. I go enter next class.
Wait,
Leona.
I be.
That's
I be.
business class. The first project.
This is why they see ITE put your name for next class, so then they take attendance. So person wey dey use ITE put your name, no go put ITE there. Oh yeah,
After
now
another
go.
week now.
Yes, bye bye. Wanna
Alright,
enter?
now
Wanna go tap the link? Bye bye.
Mona. Yeah.
29.
Bye bye.